So I'm back with another vlog. I've mostly been obviously using this channel to do plan with me videos because that's where my life is right now, which I think I mentioned in the first vlog that I did. But recently there's been some things that happened in my life that I felt like, yeah, this would make a good story for like the internet, because like they would care. So I live in an apartment in New York City. It's a very tiny apartment, and this is the third place that I've ever lived that isn't my parents' house. I lived in an apartment in college, and I lived in another apartment like right after I graduated from college. My second apartment right after I graduated from college, best apartment I've ever lived in. It was like a 1-bedroom studio thing, and not a studio thing because they were like separate rooms, but like it was very tiny. It was very small, but it was mine, and I lived by myself, and it was great. It was me and my cat, and I missed that apartment. Like if I could have stayed, I would have stayed. Like if I could have moved my apartment and my rent from where I was in Georgia to New York, I would have done it in a heartbeat. But I couldn't, because that's not how reality works. In November, my roommate keeps saying November, but I'm just like, I feel like it was October, but whatever. In November of last year, I moved into this other apartment with 2 of my friends, because New York City, you need roommates. Like it's just not gonna happen unless you're like filthy rich, and I'm not. The story that I'm telling today. Saturday, it's very hot. It's like, I guess I should preface this by saying, it's summer in New York City, it's very hot. It's like anywhere between like 75 and like 80 degrees. I think one day it might have hit 90. I don't check the weather, I just go, is it hot? Am I putting on actual pants? What's happening? But I have like lots of water bottles. Like there's 1 here, there's like 2 on my floor, actually there's 3 on my floor, and I buy water and then I'll refill the bottle and put it in the fridge for like later on, because we have no water filter, like we don't have a Brita filter or pitcher or whatever, so it's either tap water, like hoping it's cold from the faucet, or if you put it in a bottle and put it in the fridge. So Saturday night I went to get water because I was about to go to bed and I was thirsty, and I opened my fridge and I'm like, something smells like it's gone bad. And I'm just like, God damn it, is it the food that my grandmother gave me? And so I'm poking around in the fridge trying to figure out what the hell smells. And I come across some chicken that I made like 3 days prior, and it has mold on it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's like 3 days is a very, it shouldn't be mold. Like, what the fuck? And then I start touching other things, but then I'm like feeling the glass bottle that the pasta sauce is in, and it's not cold. It's like room temperature, like colder than room temperature, but not, it just came out of the refrigerator cold. And I'm like, what the hell? And I start touching other things. Everything in my fridge is like average temperature. And I'm like, is our fridge broken? What the hell? Because on Thursday or Friday, I came into the kitchen and our fridge was making this weird ass sound. Like it sounded like, have you ever had like a fan, like a metal fan, and it has like a plastic casing, and you like push the fan against the plastic casing against the fan, and it makes that weird grinding noise? That's what it sounded like our fridge was doing. But it only did this for like 20 minutes and then it stopped. And so I told my roommate, and my roommate's like, oh, it's because something in the freezer was pressing against the fan, so I just moved whatever it was. And I'm like, okay. And so I was like, but wait, what if that broke something in our fridge? So then I opened the freezer, and everything in my freezer is covered in frost. Like, it looked like Frosty the Snowman, like, just like, powered our entire freezer. And I'm like, okay, so everything in the freezer is cold, but the fridge is definitely not working. Like, 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. Even if we call the leasing office, even if we call our super, they're not going to show up till Monday, because it's an emergency, but it's not like our apartment's not on fire. So we tell our third roommate, and she's like, I'll email them. And so she emails the leasing office on Monday, like Monday morning. And then they don't email back, so then we call them. So our super comes and looks at it on Monday. And by the way, I'm filming this on Tuesday. So it's been 3 days of not having a working fridge. So he like pulls everything out of our freezer, like takes the back end of the freezer thing off, and then he like scrapes all the ice off of it because it's completely frozen. Like the entire back of our freezer, where we thought it was just white, no, it is not just white. It's like a grayish color. What's happened is the entire back of our freezer is basically frozen solid for some god-awful reason. But then he leaves. And then we're like, well, wait, he didn't look at the fridge. So then he comes back And when he comes back, we explain, no, the fridge is also just straight up not working. So then he like looks at the fridge, and then he takes everything out of the freezer again. He takes everything out, and then he he pulls more ice from someplace in our freezer. I don't know where it came from, but and then he explains to my roommate, again, there's a thermometer in our fridge, and it basically looks at the temperature outside of the refrigerator to figure out how cold it needs to make the freezer. And apparently it's so hot in our apartment that the internal temperature was like, oh, we must make the freezer colder. Like, we have to keep the freezer colder. Like, it thought the freezer door was open, but it's not. It's just that hot in our apartment. So then he's like, because it's pumping all the cold air into the freezer, it's causing everything to frost over, but also it's diverting all of the power from the fridge to the freezer. And I'm like, that's a dumb design. Like, why did you design, like, there should be two separate temperatures, so the freezer's doing one thing and the fridge is doing something else, because the freezer and fridge should never probably be the same temperature. Whatever he did, like, he did some more stuff, and he's like, he'll come back in an hour to check and see if the fridge has gotten colder. So he comes back in an hour and it hasn't gotten colder, and he leaves and comes back in another hour, and it still hasn't gotten colder. And so today I woke up and I was like, my super hasn't come back yet today. It's like morning time. Probably gonna text him and be like, hey, our fridge is cold. Anyway, bye.